If the huge quality of life update that just came to DC Dark Legion this week wasn't enough for you, the devs just revealed the Q3 Q4 2025 roadmap for the game. And I'd like to take you through some of the highlights of the roadmap. I think there's some really cool content that's going to be coming, some things that are just iterations on what's already there, but I couldn't be any more excited for the future of the game at this point. Now, before we jump into the roadmap discussion, I do want to highlight one thing for you. If you watched my video yesterday, it's sort of a beginner guide or beginner tip video on my daily routine for the game. That is unfortunately already going to change because the devs recently announced that they're going to be changing Supreme Commander in League Mobilization. It's going to be much more involved. There's going to be like a Blood Moon Arena type PvP event that's going to be associated with that. Not really something that's specifically mentioned in the roadmap itself, but it's something that's coming to the game very soon. We're going to have all those details for you, and we'll break it down in a future video. And I'll probably have to remake some of these beginner guides again because there's just such a massive amount of new information, new game modes, new things coming to the game. It's really just, I said this in a previous video, but this game is nothing like what it was when it first started out. Or at least there's a lot of variation to a lot of the things that we knew back at global launch and before that. So I've got the League Mobilization screen up just to pay homage to it before we have to say goodbye. You know, the thing about League Mobilization is it was kind of horrible to start out with. They made a lot of improvements to it. The rewards are much more robust. It's a lot better than it was before. And if you play it closely with Supreme Commander, you can actually get a lot out of the game by doing that. And I mentioned that in the beginner guide tutorial that I put together for you this week. But to be honest with you, I'm kind of glad they're getting rid of it, especially if we can see those same rewards in a different way. And to have it more PvP oriented, where you have to kind of work with your league and actually hopefully have a game mode where you can do fights or battles, is going to be much more welcoming. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll talk about that again, like I said, in a future video. But let's jump into the roadmap. So we got sort of four main highlights for the roadmap, and I imagine we'll be seeing these implemented over the next 4 to 6 months. So don't get too excited. Some of this content probably won't be in the game until closer to the end of the year, but I do expect to see some of this roll out in the very near future. The first thing is going to be a ultimate Battle for Gotham. So we just got Battle for Gotham into the game for most servers. I think it'll be rolling out to a few of the more new servers in the coming weeks, but we're now going to be seeing a bigger Battle for Gotham that's going to be server versus server. So get ready for that one. I know there's been a lot of jockeying for position in most servers that are dealing with Battle for Gotham right now because you have the top 8 leagues in your server that are vying against each other. I think that's kind of created some healthy and also unhealthy competition in the game. And I'm really hoping that this new server versus server version of the game mode is going to maybe bring some of these servers back together and fix some of the fragmenting that we've been seeing in some of the player communities. We'll see what happens, but we're going to be forced, if you want to have a chance to win, to kind of band together. So I'm really interested in seeing the interplay there across the community. The next thing we have is some new main storyline content. So a lot of people have been clamoring for that. We haven't had a new main storyline in quite a while. We got the Wonder Woman story mode where for the Wonder Woman Ascension event, and we got the new overworld that's going to be hopefully more prominently featured in some of the new main storyline content. So I know a lot of people are super excited about that. I personally am looking forward to seeing how it plays out. The third thing is going to be called Crisis in Time, and this is actually what was formerly called Battle Royale. So those who thought Battle Royale just disappeared, it's actually still on the timeline or the roadmap for the year, but it's just called something else. And this one is going to be another PvP mode, and it says that there's going to be an authentic comic storyline to uncover. So I'm curious what exactly that means. Fact that it says it's a PvP mode means that it's most likely going to be ship combat, but we'll see how I'm still interested in how they put this one together. And I've seen some footage from some other 4X type games that have a battle royale mode, and it's very similar to what you would see in Guardian Challenge, except it's free for all, and there are some objectives that you have to pick up. Typically, it's a whale fest. The people with higher rosters are going to dominate the game mode, but we'll see what differences they add into this Crisis in Time mode. Definitely curious about the comic storyline piece of it as well. And then finally, we have Great Krypton Rush Tournament. This one is something that I am super excited about if the implementation is right. So it was formerly called Cross Server Tournament. It seems that it's going to be a larger cross server than what we already have. Great Krypton Rush does pit people in their kind of battle groups against each other, league versus league. But this one is going to be much bigger, and it looks like there's going to be some bracketing associated with it. So it could actually end up being a really fun game mode for the community to participate in. So that's it for kind of the top 4 game modes or things that are going to be coming to the game. A lot of this is going to be iterative, like the Great Krypton Rush, Gotham War are both going to be iterative on systems that are already in the game, but definitely going to be new content for you to participate in. As far as the update timeline, a couple of exciting things that are coming. Now, there's going to be the obvious seasonal content, so it looks like there's going to be a fall seasonal event, there's going to be a winter seasonal event. We're going to get some themed events around Teen Titans and Bat Family. So I am assuming that means we're going to be getting new champions for Teen Titans and Bat Family. There's been some speculation around Beast Boy coming to the game. I think there's a few others that people have mentioned. We are going to be getting a new Legendary Ascension event. I'm curious if it will be tied to Teen Titans or Bat Family. Maybe we'll get a Red Hood. I know there's a lot of people who love Red Hood and would like to see him ascend to Mythic. So we'll be bringing some new content on that whenever that happens. It's probably going to be very similar to the Wonder Woman event. The thing that I am most excited about is it looks like we're going to be getting 2 special variants of champions that are already in game. So super excited about that. At least it says fan favorite champions that are going to arrive. So I would assume most of the fan favorites are already in the game right now. And if I had to guess, at least one of them is probably going to be Wonder Woman. We've heard some talk in the past from the community managers that Wonder Woman would be getting a variant in the game, or at least there's been hints of that. So I'm really hoping that these new special variants are going to be from the Dark Metal comics. Those variants are really, really cool looking, and it's going to be super exciting. And it says that the first special variant is the first thing on the update timeline. So perhaps we'll be getting that within the next month or so. We'll wrap up here. Not really meant to be a long video, just one to cover some of the major highlights from this roadmap reveal. I'm very excited about what's to come in the game, and I've got a lot of work to do to update a lot of the guides that I've made in the past because they're all changing very rapidly, which I think is healthy for the game. There have been a lot of systems that people have not necessarily liked, or that we just felt like needed some more iteration, some more details to them. So I think the game is in a very healthy state right now. Couldn't be more excited to continue to make DC Dark Legion content for you. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do so that you'll be alerted the next time I put a video out, and I'll see you in the next one.